All right, let's go to the Newspoll today. The primary vote for the coalition unchanged at 37%. There's been a 1-point drop in Labor's primary to 37, so 37 even. But the big story here is the growing number of people who are parking their vote. This is in the other camp. We know the Greens have had a strong 10% in general terms, but we're talking here about One Nation, others on the right, independents. 26%, if you add them all up, of voters aren't supporting either of the two major parties, Coalition or Labor, in this respect. And 13% of that 26 are not with Greens or One Nation. There are a whole range of fringe parties that will only grow between now and polling day. The last time these sorts of numbers were really high was under Turnbull, the 2016 double dissolution election. You know, a lot of Libs couldn't vote for him, but they couldn't vote for Labor, so they parked their vote. This would be a worry for the Prime Minister.
Oh, well, it's certainly a worry for the Prime Minister. The primary vote of 37% is unchanged. The government can't win on 37% primary vote. That's clear. The only sort of comfort for the Prime Minister, or two small bits of comfort for him. One, his personal standing has risen. As you mentioned earlier, the premiers are being seen as more powerful than the Prime Minister. But after 2 weeks of global travel and big, very big defence and security decisions on the global stage, that support for Scott Morrison is starting to lift again. But what we're seeing on the primary vote is the other aspect. It's not going. The loss of the coalition vote is not going to Labor. Labor's not picking up the disaffected votes with the coalition. And they are largely disaffected Liberal voters. And they are not wanting to vote for the government on either a climate change issue with Malcolm Turnbull out there campaigning against the government, or there's also this part of what is a flux in society where what you actually have are the conservative right libertarians joining with the left progressive sides, both of them disaffected with all government and all major parties. So what we're actually seeing is that very large group, particularly for the so-called others. A lot of those people wouldn't even know when they tick others who they would actually be voting for, or even if they had a chance to vote for those people when time comes. You've also got Clive Palmer's advertising campaign, and the politics of the pandemic is eroding the coalition support. But the question is, can they actually get it back? Can they get that disaffected vote back? Does it remain split? And does Labor, on 37% as well, with Anthony Albanese much less popular than Scott Morrison, then win by default by a split in the coalition Conservative vote? Something that you had talked about before, Peter. I think that at the moment it's still too hard to say where this is going to fall in the election next year.
Yeah, I would call it separated but not divorced. And I think a big issue in all of this for the vote will be 2050 and how the Prime Minister handles all of that. Dennis, thank you. I know you're in quarantine. You're a good man to come on in such trying circumstances. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter.